Hello, my name is Barbara Flaherty and I'm director of the Billerica Public Library. I'm here to introduce you to the Chronicle of the Billerica Public Library, 22 months. It's the history of the building of this new facility, and I'd like to give you a little background on how it all evolved. The need for a new library, we have a long history of library service in the town dating back to the 1800s with the Bennett Public Library, which served as our public library for 100 years. Then moving to what I'm calling the old library now, which was our library from 1980 until 2000. That library was very heavily used. The community did a lot of growing during the period that library was open, and it quickly became apparent that we were going to need more space. More space for community groups to meet, more space for technology that is impacting libraries every day, and more space for staff to do their jobs and to do it well. And so we began in 1993 to explore the possibilities of a new library. And at first we looked at expanding the existing facility and then turned our attention to the old town hall. In this picture, the Garden Club is having their annual plant sale there. And by turning our attention to this building, I think we really bolstered the support for a new public library, because we really were accomplishing two things. We were bringing back this very gracious building and also getting a new state-of-the-art library. We went on in 1996 to town meeting and received a very generous $5.5 million bond authorization to go ahead and build the new library, and in the end we received $2 million of that back from the state in the form of a grant, which helped to reduce the burden on the taxpayer. And so we were off and running in 1996. After that, we hired our architect to go into design development for us, and we began construction of the library in June of 1998. You can see here we've got the staging up on all around the old building, and we began by fixing the brick on the exterior and repointing it all, replacing some of it, and taking all of the slate off the roof, and using all that we could of the old slate again. It still had 75 to 100 years of life in it, believe it or not, after 105 years. And that was a long process to get that roof tight again, as well as all new gutters and downspouts, and so to make the building weather tight. So here we are now in the winter of 1998, and so the building is weather tight, and we've begun to work on the addition to the building, which is a 25,000 square foot addition. You'll see nothing's happened with the cupola yet. The cupola was being built off-site in a shop. Here we are now, must be spring, I think, coming into spring of 1999, and the beginnings of a cupola are starting to show on the roof of the building. As I said, that was a piece that was built off-site, fabricated off-site, and then craned onto the building in 1999. That, you remember, was struck by lightning back in 1993, I believe it was, and was declared unsafe to stay on the building, so was removed, and sort of took the identity of the building away by taking that beautiful piece from the top. You can get a little view of the roof construction there and the connector piece between the old building and the new building. They're repairing a chimney here. And there's the dome. The dome went on first in August of '99 on a nice summer day. That's a 23 karat gold leaf on the top of that cupola. You can see now the staging is down. As we prepare for the year 2000 celebration, you can see that the exterior of the library is looking pretty much complete. The addition to the rear complementing the old building. And the cupola adorning the top. Now you're seeing the new main entrance of the library on the north side of the building, and I think they're erecting the new sign that says Billerica Public Library. This is the ice sculptures going up in front of the building for the New Year's Eve celebration. This is our alligator that came from the children's room of the old building. He escaped and was living outside for a while. This is a view of the south side. Our fundraising was very successful. $300,000 meant we more than surpassed our goal. Now we'll go inside, take a tour. This is February. And although the outside looked pretty much complete, you can see there's still lots of work to be done inside. The old tax collector's window. This is now the staff lounge. We kept that window in the staff area. You're on the main floor here. You can see the grand stair in the distance, and this is now the main circulation desk and the entrance to the new addition. We kept this area for all of our popular materials. We wanted to lay it out so it was very logical and flowed smoothly, since we get a lot of traffic through this area. This is where the new books are, the videos, audiovisual materials. Where we're standing now is the area where the fiction collection is and the magazines. Nice comfortable seating areas in this section on the main floor. It looks so different now, it's hard to recognize. This is the inside of the outside book drop. You drop your books on the outside and they come into some bins on the inside there. The carpenters are working, and we're heading downstairs to the children's room. One of my favorite areas of the new library. This is your new main entrance. And here we are in the children's room. Still working away. This is what we call the toddler's corner now. That's where the picture books are for our youngest readers. And this is the story garden that you're seeing through the windows. We came from 800 square feet of space for the children in our old library to 4,000 square feet of space now for children in the new library. We're very proud of that. This is our meeting room. Those walls are painted a deep blue, which is really attractive. Now you're in the cellar. And this is the existing foundation and the old electrical room in the basement of the old town hall. This was one of the full-fledged tours, I guess. We even went into the deepest recesses of the basement. There's so much to building a building that you don't really see when you're watching from the outside. The intricacies of it. That was an old safe left over from the old town hall. This was a hole in the floor that no one knew what it was. They thought maybe a coal bin, but no one's really sure. I think it might have been a wine cellar or something. Wouldn't that be nice if we kept that? And there's the grand stair. That sure looks different today. That room you see ahead of us is now where our videos are stored. The woodwork in this building is so gorgeous. We're really pleased to be able to restore and keep so much of it. And this is the Great Hall upstairs, which is now the reference room of the new library. Definitely a magnificent room. That was the stage that you see ahead of you. We lowered the stage to ground level and maintained that proscenium arch over the area. That's now the reference office and a computer room. You can see how we took those windows from the west wall, the back of the town hall, and cut them down to make entrances into the new addition. Some beautiful architecture in this room. Well, we're putting up light fixtures. That's a positive sign. Still pretty incredible to think 3 months later we were open, when you look at these pictures. See the original brick from the back wall and the dental work from the exterior west wall of the old town hall. That was all restored. Looks beautiful now. And a view of the old library from inside the new library. Again, we're on the second floor, looking from the west to the east at the Old Town Hall. All the modern conveniences, an elevator. We're standing on the balcony in the Great Hall. We're not going to use that for too much in the new library, but it's certainly a nice feature. We've put the old brass rail back up there, the original brass rail. And this is a peek up into the cupola hatch. You can see the construction of the old building. Structurally very sound. They don't make them like that anymore. And a view from the balcony. Looking down. These were coat rooms up in the balcony that people could hang their coats when they came to see a show or attend an event at the Old Town Hall back at the turn of the century. They did a lot of civic and community events in this building. It was sort of the community center, which is what we're trying to recreate now in the year 2000 with our new library. Again, some of the beautiful architectural detail on that balcony. And now going down the stairs. They look a lot better today. Side of the new Billerica Public Library. It's February 25th, and we're doing a little tour of the progress. We're about 2 months away from the grand opening, and things are coming together. You can see behind me all the woodwork that's been stripped down to its natural wood, and we're just going to honey finish that, and it's going to be very pretty. It was a very dark, almost black when they started out, so it's very pretty. This is the Weathervane going back onto the building. And this turned out to be a big project. This is the basket they were going to take it up in, but it ended up being too heavy. Most of the Weathervane had to be replicated because it was pretty well worn. But it is an exact replica of what was there.
I'm Paul McLaughlin. I'm the clerk of the works for the town of Billerica on this library project. We're about to place the new Weathervane on the cupola on top of the roof. It's been all gold leafed, and it's still packed in a crate in a truck on our right-hand side over here. The crane here that's set up has outriggers that hold it level. Once they set it up, it's perfectly level and stable. When they reach the crane, when they do the pick of the Weathervane, they can reach 180 feet in the air with it to place it. There'll be 2 men in a basket. With any luck, everything will go fine, even though we're confronting a wind today that's gusty. We hope that it'll all go well.
A bit like threading a needle, getting to fit down over that hole that you see sticking over the top. They made it look pretty easy. Uncrating it and moving it off the truck. It was quite windy that day. You can see the spire on the ground and the actual Weathervane and cardinal points inside the crate. Packed very carefully. Came down from Vermont, where it was fabricated. There's some pieces of the old one there, which we kept.
Power to set up the other crane, and then you folks will be going up.
I would think so. We're flying. We're already up there. The wind's about 40 miles an hour.
What are you cutting those strips of metal for?
It's to hold the base of the tower. To clip it to the existing roof.
was the stairway. Had just been poured for the new main entrance. Sort of a semicircle.
We get it. So as long as we got it up today, what we gotta do? It's there, it's there.
Now this is all brass underneath this gold leaf?
It's all copper.
I mean copper, okay.
Yeah.
Copper underneath the gold leaf.
Yeah.
And what's the weight?
The weight?
The weight of the
weight
gold
is,
leaf?
32 ounces per square foot.
Probably weighs about 100 pounds.
10 feet 10.
The whole box will weigh about 980, right?
Here it is, actually going on. Took a whole day to put this on top. And this.
Hi folks, all set to pass the books? Yeah!
On April 8th, we did a ceremonial passing of the books from the old library to the new library. 20 years ago, when we moved into the now old library, we moved every book in the Bennett Library to the new library via a human chain. It was quite an event. The community really came out in droves. And of course, at that time, the collection numbered somewhere in the vicinity of 40,000 volumes. It's now closer to 100,000. So we decided to enlist professional movers to make the move for us. But just to commemorate what we did 20 years before, we did a ceremonial passing.
Are you wearing a tux? Okay. Because I told them to.
That's the oldest book.
The Short Studies in Literature by Hamilton Wright. It's the oldest book.
It is. It's the oldest book in the collection.
Okay, let's pass it along. There you go. Pass along, Lynn.
I'll take the camera. And we'll take a picture of you with a book.
Did you pass it along? Yep. Good job. Hi, guys.
Yeah, I really actually have to. Yeah, I never did any working, so I
Here we go.
Keep it going.
Fire brigade, let's go. Bring the books. Books, and more books.
We got a big book.
We need you more paint.
All right,
Get back.
I'm tired.
Tired. Don't get tired.
Look over there. Look over this way. Here we go.
Yay!
That's fun.
Here we go. Go, 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 go. Brandon, look at the camera. You're the second grade?
Did you cry? Yes. Did I cry? I saw. Bill and I were him still. Even Bill, even Bill.
What is it, a sad one?
No, pictures to see.
Books, and more books.
We
I don't think they want to move them yet.
All right, Rich. Excuse me.
I don't want to have to bury them with taking these off first. Then I can't get in the space I need to put those in. Right. Dave said this.
Hi, it's Monday morning, April 10th, and it's moving day. Today's the day that we have our professional movers moving the collection over to the new library. It's going very well. We've got all of the nonfiction collection in the building now, and we're working on the children's collection. So we think by the end of tomorrow we should have all the books over here. And around the corner my staff is starting to put them up on the shelves.
Oh, let's go see.
Okay. On the shelves, it's really beginning to look like a library now. This is our nonfiction collection, and we've just started here putting them back on the shelves, and hopefully by the end of the week we'll have most of this up.
Okay. Is Lloyd taking these?
Yeah.
We'll fix them in time.
He was going to get us a big box or something, wasn't he? So.
Yeah, for the tip taker. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kathy Meyer, and I'm reshelving books, and we're all excited about this.
I'm always Meyer.
Priscilla, are you excited over the opening?
I am. You're going to love it. It's gorgeous. Now all we have to do is
I
put
can't
the books
wait.
back on the shelf. And it's real.
The best one in Massachusetts.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Today was the first day that we brought over, let's see, up here is all the reference, nonfiction, and there was about 1,157 boxes that the movers moved today. And we have time now, so now we're shelving. We dusted, cleaned up a little, so things are going really well.
Well, here we are. It's about 1:45, 15 minutes before D hour. Barbara, you still nervous?
Yes, it's a big day for all of us, I think. I'm very excited. We're going to have a little ribbon cutting ceremony and some speeches, and then we're going to invite everybody to tour around their new public library.
22 months, huh?
22 long months, but worth it. I think as people walk through the building, they'll be very pleased with the results. I think it was worth the wait, and I'm very excited about it and very proud of it, and I think the community will be as well.
It is a beautiful facility.
Drum roll, anyone? Drum roll. Here we go. Ribbon cutting. There it is. All right. Official ribbon covering, and now we'll go upstairs and some of the ceremonies. Back of the ribbon cutting. We'll give you an idea of how many people were here today. So this is kind of neat. We'll be doing the... hey, Patty, how are you doing? It's Patty Feeney. And her children. Patty... the Friends of the Billerica Library.
He's also chaplain of the fire department, and so it's our pleasure this time to give the invocation, Reverend Dennis Bailey.
Let us bow our hearts and minds to the God who has created us all. Dear God, we are so grateful for this very special day, and most especially for this very special place we would dare call Sacred Place. And we're especially grateful for all those wonderful people who have sacrificed and given so much of themselves to make this day and this sacred place possible.
This is America the Beautiful, because if it wasn't for America, we wouldn't have these wonderful libraries to learn. I think you all know the words, so you can all join in and sing along with me, okay? Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesty.
got thinking about it more, I knew that what I wanted to talk about today was the pride that I have in the project, but also how proud I am of an individual who, in my mind, was the reason for the success of this project. And that person is Billerica.
We are honored today because we have a guest speaker who has traveled many miles to be here today. She is the chairman of the State Board of Library Commissioners. Has been a great help to us and an advisor to this project. Has driven all the way from Duxbury on occasion to come here. You know how the hell far that it can be. And at this time I'd like to introduce Billerica, chairman of the Library Board Commission.
I am so delighted to be here to bring you very, very warm and congratulatory greetings from the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners. This building is really, I've been here to visit intermittently, but I'll tell you it's beyond all expectations. As we drove up, it was very difficult to tell where the old building ended and the new one began. It is just a magnificent, magnificent thing, and we're so happy to be a part of it. And I can say with confidence that there is no other public institution that evokes the respect, the love, and the dedication as does a public library in a community. And certainly,
this building is both an old building and a new building. 100 years ago, as Billerica was transitioning from the 19th century to the 20th century, the town was getting accustomed to its new town hall. It was a modern new town hall at that time, and it served us well. Now, a century later, we transition into our new library.
When the history of Billerica is rewritten, the writer will no doubt know that this is a community that cherished lifelong learning and that fully understood the connection between access to learning and democracy and freedom. Toni Morrison, the first black woman to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature, once noted the importance of public libraries into civilized life. She said, "Access to knowledge is the supreme act of truly great civilizations. Of all the institutions that purport to do this, free libraries stand virtually alone in accomplishing the mission. No committee decides who may enter. No crisis of body or spirit must accompany the entrant. No tuition is charged, no oath sworn, no visa demanded. Of the monuments humans build for themselves, very few say, touch me, use me. My hush is not indifference, my space is not barrier. If I inspire awe, it is because I am in awe of you and the possibilities that dwell within you."
I have rarely been privileged to work on a project, a construction project, that very quickly was, the idea of it's a bricks and mortar approach was thrown away, and it really was a love of doing something properly. We have a fine building in the heart of our community, restoring art in our community, thanks in large part to those who have designed it, those who have built it, and in particular, those who have funded it. And the monies came from all sources. The monies came from the state in the sum of almost $2 million or slightly more than $2 million. The monies came from the community. And as importantly, the monies came from townspeople, both and citizens that are corporate citizens of our town. We had large donations amounting to tens of thousands of dollars, and we had people who gave rolled pennies, and we appreciate each and every cent of that equally.
A lot has been said about Barbara Flaherty, and a lot should be said about Barbara Flaherty. She is without a doubt, outside of my wife, the most dynamic woman I know. She is very talented. She is the leadership. It's unbelievable. The courage too. Don't forget, this took a lot of courage and a lot of years of my life too, I might add. The trustees, we're just through with this girl, so without further ado, here she is, the object of our affection, Barbara Flaherty.
fact, aside from giving birth to my terrific son Ryan, this library is indeed my most treasured accomplishment.
More books are being published today than ever before. Last year, 68,000 books were published in the United States. America is building libraries. A reported $545 million was spent on the construction and expansion of libraries in 1999. Billerica is not alone in its belief in libraries. While libraries cannot solve all the problems of the world, they can be a key part of the equation. In the 21st century, the library will continue to be an oasis of excellence. It will continue to be a place for families, a positive social gathering place, a place that fosters both individuality and a sense of community. The library will continue to fulfill its three fundamental missions. It will continue to preserve our heritage and help us to understand ourselves and others. It will continue to organize information for ease of use and access for a vast array of individuals on a vast array of subjects. It will continue to promote reading because that is so basic to our society and everything else. I'd like to close my remarks.
And we say this for last, the best for last. As a result of the vote, unanimous vote of the trustees, this is known as the Barbara Flaherty Library.
Bill, you stepped out of the room for 4 or 5 minutes, and your capable board committee voted that they thought you should share in the honor of this room. I mean, after all, we wouldn't want the public confused of which Flaherty we're talking about. So actually, it's a great honor that I have to let you know that you will be partnering with Barbara here at the door. Normally, this section of the meeting is for me to hand over a key. Well, candidly, I can't imagine the doors ever being locked to either of the two of you. So what need have you of a key?
I can understand this beautiful room being named for Barbara. It's elegant, it's gracious, it's gorgeous. And then I said, why would my name be on it? And I remember it's over 100 years old.
Is right here behind this wall. We're going to put a plaque up here to remind people that there is a time capsule here.
That way your grandchildren.
They can take it, they can break open this wall, and open up the time capsule, put the new stuff in, take the old stuff out, seal it back up again for another 50 years. Hopefully.
Nice, huh? Yeah.
I'm working for Stephen Gavois out of New Hampshire. Right now we're in the middle of laying the lower end of the walk for the Billerica Public Library. We're using brick pavers. What we had to do was tear up the old concrete slabs that were here by jackhammering them out. Had an excavator come in, pulled out the slabs. We graded and leveled the dirt that was here before, which you can see down there, and then graded and leveled the stone dust, which we just placed in today, and we're in the process of doing. While Steve is out, I've gone ahead and laid out the brick pavers for the border, which is going to be the same color as the landing up there. And then once we get it moving, get to a certain point, we're going 11 courses out. We're going to start with the colonial brick pavers, most of which have been engraved by those who have been generous enough to donate to the Billerica Public Library. I believe it was $50 for one of the red brick, and another, it would be $75 for this colored engraved brick up there. So.
Well, you've seen the old and the new. We've arrived at the end of the tale, and it's a happy tale, and we're very happy to have it shown on VATV. I always believe, and I know it's quite true, that the town that you visit, you can immediately tell what kind of town it is by that library. And this is a great town. And of course, this library represents, I think, a great adventure for us and a great thing for the town. And we're very happy that it turned out so very nice at the end. Bob, what do you say?
I just say hooray, we made it, and enjoy your library. It's yours for years to come.
Come on down and see us. It's wide open.
Thank you.